guys to another episode of the Rivals Podcast. Today we have another special guest for you guys. His name is Raymond Ruiz, and we have a lot of good nuggets that are going to come out and are going to be really good for you guys to take home and at least apply to learn something new. Again, this is Ray. Ray, can you introduce yourself to our audience and let them know what it is that you do and who Ray is?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on. I'm a Bay Area realtor. I'm licensed to do real estate in the state of California. I've been a realtor for over 20 years. I was actually thinking about it when I knew I was coming on the podcast, and I realized I'm actually getting closer to 25 years.
There we go.
So kind of a dinosaur.
Yeah, that's the same experience I got in garages.
Yeah.
2.5 decades.
Oh, man, that's great.
I'm with you
Yeah.
on the experiences, man.
And in the process of being a realtor, you know, it allows a lot of free time to chase your passions. And now at this stage of my life, I'm getting a little older, and I'm like, hey, I want to start doing bucket listings. And I have a few friends from some of my other hobbies or past careers that were in acting. And I asked one of them if I could become a extra, how to become an extra. I didn't want to ask him to put me in one because I felt like you got to earn your way anywhere in life, but just how could I do the process? And he told me, hey, I think you could be an actor. And I'm like, really? And he showed me some casting sites, and I already had headshots from real estate. I applied, and 2 days later I was on the set filming in Burbank. So on top of being a realtor, I'm a bad actor.
So you're the heroes who saved this little boy's life.
No heroes here. It's just what you do.
So I heard you're going home soon.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see my mom.
Well, I bet she's really excited to see you too.
I'm a bad actor. Hey, is there such thing as bad acting, man?
No, because I mean, probably someone could critique you for everything you do, but for me, it's just a passion. I love it, and it's something fun, and it's a way for me to exercise my creative side and do something away from just purely sales and real estate, which is a real high stress situation. And this is something to have fun. And the funny thing is, doing the acting and the producing, I thought maybe it might take away from it, but it actually added to the real estate because now people are like, hey man, I see you on TV.
No, it was a marketing tactic you didn't even know, man.
Yeah, and the realtors that maybe necessarily would normally notice me, they would stop me and say, hey, aren't you that actor? You know, you're the realtor's actor, or hey, I seen your ads, or I seen your billboard. And it was always a good little talking point. You know, people like to talk about it, and they think it's fun.
No, yeah, it's good to have something that attracts, at least grabs their attention. Like Albert says, if nobody knows you, they're not buying from you. All right, let me ask you, you say you've been doing this about 20 years in the real estate, right? What do you think is your advantage? Because I just bought a home, and through the help with one of Albert's people, which Jared put the team together, right? So Jared put a team together for me. And he helped me buy a home out here. So I mean, for me, it was like, dude, he's not even out here. How is he gonna help me? How does he know this stuff? So for you, if someone comes out here and says, hey, I want Ray to help me buy a home, what are the benefits of someone coming out and picking you as their real estate agent to help them pick a home out here in the Bay?
Well, part of picking someone that's from the area that you're working is they know someone with a more intimate knowledge, where someone may look at statistics and things like that, but they may not be familiar with certain things. So like you may say, hey, this is a great neighborhood, but did you also know there's a good restaurant up the street? Or maybe some hobbies that your client likes, and say, hey, these areas are good. There's a lot of areas here that, focus to your hobbies or the school districts you like. It's close to your commute. You have a little more intimate knowledge of the intangibles of what it is, and that's just the matrix of what shows up on the internet, because everything always could be painted perfect on the internet.
Of course.
And then the pictures look great. Everyone has nothing but nice things to say, but when you have someone that actually lives there and's been there,
that knows the Bay, knows the area.
Yeah, and then the Bay Area is unique, probably in the nation, because every part of the Bay Area, even though we say the Bay. San Jose is totally different from Oakland.
Yeah.
Oakland is totally different from San Francisco. Novato and all that is totally different from the other cities, right? And so they all have their own vibe. They have their own culture. And even though we're all say we're the Bay, we all have our own little things going on.
No, yeah, it is kind of interesting. Never thought about it, but yeah, it is the Bay Area, but we all have different kind of like how we how we talk, how we actually go about our daily lives in different areas. And it's actually pretty, because I'm driving everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally, I went the other day. I went from Vallejo all the way to the end of Fremont, almost hitting Sunnyvale, and then back up, and then came back out to Castro Valley, and then back, right? So just seeing the different areas that or at least the communities that we're in, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had never really thought about it like that.
And you could tell even like culturally, like a lot of people like to stay in their groups, right, in their areas. And you could tell like when you move, like a lot of family groups and a lot of areas or nightlife or things that they like, restaurants will be focused in the different areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the Bay?
Well, of course, I'm from San Jose, so I'd probably say San Jose, but, you know, I appreciate it all. You know, San Francisco is a world-class city, you know, got all the fine dining, a lot of arts. You know, Fremont's fun. You know, Oakland's got their lot of culture, a lot of fun. You know,
a lot of side shows.
But you know, I love it all. You know, it's one thing that I think is special about it is the beauty. We're kind of all surrounded by mountains and water, no matter where you go, which it's hard to find. You know, in most of the places in the country, either it's real dry like a desert, doesn't have a lot of green. We have a little of both. And the drive, we're a few hours drive to Lake Tahoe, the snow. You know, we're an hour's drive to Sacramento or Northern California, a couple hours drive to LA and Hollywood, a couple more to San Diego, another 40 minutes, 25 minutes, and we're in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right?
We're pretty diverse on how much we can do, where we can go.
Yeah, you can literally, in a weekend, drive from the top of the Sierras to the desert and see the whole, you know, all the diversity.
I think we're blessed to have all that stuff out here, man.
Yeah.
I think there's really no. I mean, I haven't traveled much, but at least the place I've been to, there hasn't been a place like the Bay where you're literally 5 minutes out from where you're at and you're in a complete different, you know, scenery. Like you said, you can go from like a desert scenery to an ocean scenery to all this nice mountain
snow
view.
Mountains and everything.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, even growing up here, you know, my whole life, there's still stuff I haven't seen here in the Bay Area. Like this weekend, I took a drive up to Sausalito and I went over to Point Reyes National Park. And I'd been there before, but I never really hung out in that area. Drove down in Stinson Beach, took Highway 1 up to Tamales Bay. And I'd never been there, and it was beautiful. And I was like, man, I missed out on this. Ended up over in Bodega Bay, and hung out on the beach there, got something to eat. So
yeah, and it's beautiful out there. I mean, now I'm building it again, but used to go back roading out there.
Oh yeah, the back roads are really nice out there.
Dude, it's that view on Highway 1 off the coast is just breathtaking, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Especially I mean, for me, the rainy day is a rainy day when all the not the fog, but kind of you see the rain just coming down, and then you just look out on the coast, and it just looks so beautiful out there.
Yeah, I love that too, because even walking on the beach in the rainy days, because it's like you have the whole beach to yourself.
Yeah,
and you can just feel all the majesty of it, and the power, like you said, of the waves slamming in, and just kind of feel like one with the nature. I like hiking like that too on the rainy days because everyone's out of the state parks or the national parks.
It's an actual park. Nobody's there.
Yeah, you can actually hear the animals and you can smell the smoke from houses down the way or whatever. So it's really nice.
Yeah. So let me ask you, what got you into real estate, or why did you get into real estate?
Well, I wasn't in the traditional, you know, college, wealthy family type person. You'd think like, a realtor or a high sales person came from. Blue collar. You know, my family were farmers, working ranches. I was laying asphalt, working for the city of San Jose, you know, total manual labor my whole life, you know, earn it with my sweat and my hard work. And I was a young man, probably about 24 years old. And it was right at the perfect time where everyone was getting loans and the time the market just right. And I had enough money saved up to buy a house. And when I bought my first home, I seen the realtor and the loan agent that helped me. Shout out Carlos and Gavin. Thank you guys. Helped me buy my first house. I was like, man, it's pretty neat what they did. And they're showing homes, and you know they look sharp. And you know, and I'm used to going home in a puddle of sweat, exhausted every day and dirty. I wonder if it'd be nice to try that side of it. And I seen that they made a pretty good chunk of money off the transaction. And I go, I want to try that, I think I'll try it. And then all my buddies like, what the hell you know about real estate? You know, you're a grunt, man, grab the shovel, dude. You know, you're talking crazy. You know, no one's going to use you as your realtor, right? I was just drinking beers with you last night.
That's how they're good friends, man.
Yeah. You know how it is. You know, everyone's like, crazy, dude. I go, I'm going to learn. And so I talked to the agent. I go, hey, how do you become a realtor? Kind of like I did with the acting. And it was funny. I guess they had a conversation about me. And they go, hey, we thought you'd be good at this. You know, you're pretty talkative when you want to be, and you have a good mind for this. You know, you understand it. You know, you took the emotion away from it and just focused on the business aspect of it. And they go, if you're interested, we'll help you get in. And and I thought maybe they were just doing that to make the close, but they were serious.
Here we are.
Yeah, they opened the doors. And I'm still working with some of the people that I met in the beginning that they introduced me to this day. So Al was the president of my first company I was at, and we stayed friends all these years. And then we always talked about getting the band back together, and here we are, working together again 24 years later. We're still friends, still making money together.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
How many homes do you own now?
Right now, I'm transitioning into commercial real estate in Ohio, buying apartment buildings. So we're moving all the portfolio to Ohio right now.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're liquid right now and looking to buy apartment buildings in Ohio. Give me your Ohio apartment buildings, multifamily.
Hey, whatever's in Ohio, guys. If you need to sell something, my guy's ready to take it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're buying what we can in Ohio.
For anybody that's out there trying to get into real estate, because I mean, right now even Albert talks about how tough things are with the real estate side, or just about everything that has to do with buying, selling homes, right?
Yeah.
If for somebody that's trying to get into the actual industry, what kind of advice would you give them if they're just like fresh, green, trying to jump in?
I actually was just talking to a fresh agent. And I think the perception is, you know, because you watch Selling Sunset and all this stuff, it looks sexy. And it looks like all you do is, you know, you dress nice and eat at restaurants and you show a house and you close a deal. That's not it. You know, if you're going to be in real estate, you know, for one, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to understand it's a sales business first, right? And sales, you know, it's either feast or famine. You got to keep selling to live. Right, you can't just sit there in the office and try to look cool and post pictures on your social media to impress people. So, you know, study hard, get your license, have a thick skin, because you're going to face a lot of rejection. And one thing with sales, you're going to face rejections.
That's part
right?
of it.
And just like in your business, you know, I don't know how many pitches you do, and then maybe 1 out of 10 will say, "Hey, man, we're ready to put some money on the contract."
I'm immune to heartbreaks now, bro.
Yeah.
That's no.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, oh, that's fine. Let's go to the next one.
Go. I'll keep in touch with you, because eventually, you know, you're going to come back around. So, I try to tell them, remember, it's sales. You know, so be a good salesperson. And for me, you know, everyone has their own style. So I tell people, don't be a cookie cutter agent. Yeah. And don't be a secret agent, because everyone wants to look perfect, and they go, "Oh, I don't have money to buy nice suits. I don't have a nice car," or things like that. And it's nice to look successful, but I tell them, I go, whoever trusts you with their transaction, this is going to be the biggest transaction of their life, right? Usually, and you know, regardless, even if it's their 10th home or their first home, it's a big commitment, you know. So they're buying you. They're trusting you as a person. Mm. They're trusting you with their financial future, that you're going to be knowledgeable in the business, and that you're going to have their well-being at heart. So that's more important than anything else, right? So they have to know that they can count on you to get that done. And I try to convey that with all my clients, and I try to live that. You know, it's not just a sales pitch. It's not just some gimmick. You know, I want people to know, like, I care about you. You know, we'll find you your house. We'll get you ready, but I want your financial future. Because if it's just one house, I don't do anyone any service. I want to build you up. You know, I want you to buy your first house. I want to help you buy your kids buy their first house. I want you guys to help you buy your first apartment buildings, right? And I want you guys to be the next land moguls, you know, if that's what you want. You know, you tell me your goals, I'm going to be there to work it with you, and we'll grow together. The money will come, right? Let's build the relationship. The money will work itself out, you know, so. But the rejection part, they have a hard time with that, and they think they're gonna make money quick, and it just doesn't come quick in real estate. You know, you're gonna have to get your family to trust you, because usually your first deals are gonna come from within your circle, your sphere of influence. You know, your family, your friends.
That warm market, right?
Yeah, and you got to remember, the ones that you're trying to pitch you, they're the same ones. You know, so if you're a young person and maybe you're a little wild and you were out drinking all the time and they know that, or they know like, hey, I'm gonna trust you the house. I just seen you blacked out drunk the weekend before. You know what I mean?
Parting out with them, trying to sell them a home, and you're over here blacking out on the weekends. I don't know how much stress that builds, man.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to carry yourself accordingly. You got to remember that. You know, you got to be someone that they can count on, and you know, people look at you because anyone you come in contact with is a potential client. So you got to remember that when you're out there in the public and you're carrying yourself and in life, because you never know who's watching you. You know, besides your clients, right? Your family, your kids, your nieces and nephews. You know, you want to be a good example, regardless of what you do.
Example of excellence.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't know. I back in the day I saw. I mean, I guess it was a family member, but he jumped into real estate a long time ago, man. I thought it was pretty cool because you could, like you say, it was like the suit, man, always looking good, driving the nice Lexus, and I'm like, damn, man, that's nice. But I don't think I mean, maybe now with the knowledge that I have, it's like you say, because sales is hard, man.
Yeah.
It's like having rejection constantly thrown at you. I mean, like right now, it's like immune to it, but it's hard to overcome that first year, or at least the first few months of hearing no's and no's. What was for you? What was it? What was one of the biggest failures that got you to overcome whatever fear, or if you had any type of fear when you jump into the real estate to make yourselves?
I was always pretty self-reliant. You know, growing up poor, you're kind of always used to struggling, and you're used to persevering through hard times, right? You know, when I was a kid, you know, having the landlord knock on the door, go, hey, tell your parents you need to pay the rent, right? Never living in a home ourselves, always living in apartments. If we did live in a home, it was a relative that let us stay. So it was that hunger and drive, right, that kind of pushed me into that. I wanted to give my kids something different.
Their home.
And, you know, going into that, all that kind of ridicule from my friends and laughing at me because they kind of see me as just like a good, hardworking, strong guy, not a brain, right? Just a good dude. And so I would I'd go at night, and I was kind of embarrassed because I'd be dirty sometimes, and I'd go in the office and I'd go to school and I'd work on my deals, like kind of at night, and then come in. And the owner of the company would say, like, man, who's this guy? I'm cutting checks for this guy. I've never even met him. Because I would hide. I was embarrassed. You know, I just felt like I didn't fit in that culture. And so I was in this middle area. I wasn't fitting in anymore with my buddies, you know.
You were doing that transition of more from, was like, yeah, I'm not here no more, but I don't fit here just yet.
Yeah, and then and some of the stuff I seen, I didn't really care for. You know, some people that just cared about the sell and didn't care about people. They would kind of laugh when they took advantage of people and things like that, and I really didn't respect that. So, you know, I tried to find my identity. It was tough, right? And then once I found my identity and I was growing and I thought everything was going well, grew in the company, they trusted myself and another individual, a partner of mine, a good friend, to start our own branch. And that was a whole another thing. So we started our branch. And they said, pick an area, we'll give you the funding, you know, you do your leads, do your advertising, grow. And everything was going great. We're making a ton of money, more money we ever made in our lives, right? You know, I'm 25 years old, got a bunch of agents in the office, driving the nice cars, has multiple homes, thought we're on top of the world. And one day we were sitting there going, man, this just isn't adding up anymore, you know. The deals are looking a little funky now, you know, like people are barely qualifying. Eventually it's got to stop, you know, all this gravy train's got to stop, you know, we got a better plan for that. And that was right around 2007. Everyone talks about the market crash in 2008.
It started before that?
It didn't start in 2008, it started 2007. It was the height of it, kicked in 2008. We got decimated, wiped out. So I went from hoping to be a millionaire by 30. I was a millionaire by 28, multimillionaire by 30. 2008, flat broke, lost everything. That was a catastrophe, one of the hardest things I ever had to face. The company went bankrupt, went under. We went broke, loaning people money, trying to give agents money to keep them afloat, because we're like, we just got to turn it around, you know, plus our own deals. Lawsuits, like, you know, Albert talks about lawsuits, massive tax bills, You know, I'm talking like $227,000 tax bill, and I got no money. You know, $500,000 lawsuit. You know, and I'm only 30 years old. It's all, and then the world came crashing down.
Jeez.
And split up with my kid's mother. You know, lost everything. Gave her the last car I had paid for. Didn't even have a car. And I'm like, what am I gonna do, right? And thinking about that, you know, people are panicking. You know, unfortunately, some people killed themselves. Some people got hooked on drugs. You know, they just didn't know how to handle it. But growing up poor and having all those skill sets from working with my hands my whole life, I go, I can earn. You know, worst case scenario, I'll pick a shovel up again. I'll clean a toilet. I'll do whatever it takes.
A quick reset, and we're back on.
Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes, right? I can earn. You know, I've been through hard times. This ain't gonna break me. Because if I let this break me, my kids are gonna suffer even more, right? Because they need me to get through this. They're counting on me to get through this. And, you know, I'm not overtly religious, but I was praying in my car. And I was like, God, don't let my kids go hungry because of my mistakes, right? You know, don't let my kids do this because, you know, I'll do just about anything to feed them, right? And I'm not going to let them suffer. And so I was praying that, and it was like an audible voice in my head. You know, I like to say it was God. You know, but was it? I don't know. But I like to say it was. And he told me something, and I've lived my life like that since. He said, yeah, you'll do whatever, right? Kind of the gangster thing. You know, I'll rob, I'll do whatever to feed my kids. He goes, but will you humble yourself? Will you humble yourself and really do whatever? Will you work McDonald's again? Will you clean those toilets? Will you do what you got to do to feed your family, right? And I thought about that, and I said, yeah. I never even thought of it that way. You know, right away I went to like kind of like the desperate stuff, and just out of desperation, right? Because when you're desperate, you don't think. And I go, you're right. Took a job as a security guard, guarding cattle at a slaughterhouse, right? I went from a multi-million-dollar office to being a security guard for a tallow factory. Doing the tallow factory, cleaning toilets, back to doing construction with my family, working with the city again, and little by little building up the real estate again. And, you know, fought my way back. You know, it took a lot of years. And at the same time, was trying to maintain that relationship with my kids, still be in their lives, and be a good example. And it was really, really tough. But, you know, like you said, you know, when you go through those kind of adversities, you know, you get stronger every battle. And every other side of the battle, like I faced that, and I'm still here. You know, you're not breaking me. You know, you may beat me up, I may bleed a little bit, but I'm gonna get up.
You know who Francis Nunez is?
Yeah.
The real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
So he told me something when I interviewed him. He was like, "We're undefeated, bro."
Yeah.
He's like, "We're still here." And like you said, no matter what you're going through, you're still undefeated. You're still standing. You're still going.
Yeah. The only loss is when you stop.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Everything's lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I remember there was times when it was really dark and really hard, and everyone was like, "Man, I can't believe it, man. How are you still going?" And my brother-in-law and friends were like, "Damn, dude, like."
It takes quite a bit of thick skin to do or even get through certain challenges in life.
Yeah.
From some people, like even what you went through is pretty tough, pretty rough,
Yeah.
right? Because it went like literally from your business to family through your whole life.
Yeah.
But for some people, they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, I do that with my eyes closed." Like, yeah, because you probably already went through it once, twice, three times, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of grit and quite a thick skin to even just handle any type of adversity, especially when you're going from all this, multi-millions down to back to zero, literally zero.
Like zero,
Yeah.
like negative thousands of dollars.
And then not only that, I mean, not just financially,
Yeah.
right? But your actual life, your family life, your life as Raymond, right? It took a big hit.
Yeah. Everything I've worked for
financially.
my whole life
Correct.
got taken away from me in a matter of months.
So what do you think is one of the biggest lessons that gave you, other than being able to humble yourself down to be able to go back to, working back into security guard and stuff?
There's a couple of things, right? Your personal character, right? What kind of person you are. You could be a leader in anywhere in life, right? You know, how you carry yourself, your ethics, your morals, right? And, who you are, you don't compromise that. So the money didn't make me as a man, right? the titles didn't make me as a man. It was what I am. You know, I'm an honest man. I'm a hardworking man who loves his family. And it doesn't matter where you put me. I'm going to always do what's best for the people around me and for myself. And I'm not going to compromise my character, right? That was the takeaway. And with hard work, things will pass. And so I always thought about that because, you know, like growing up, you know, you get that your macho, the machismo, you know, like, you know, I'm tough, you know, I'm not weak, I'm not going to cry. And when I was down and out, there was days like, I'd say like, God, man, just let me die. You know, what the hell? Just let me die already. This is just horrible. You know, I'm sleeping on the floor. You know, I'm sharing a little place and I'm struggling. And I'd go to bed like, just let it be over already. You know, and I'd wake up the next day and go, shit, I'm still here. Better put my boots on, get to work. Right? And then there was a lot of days where I would pray like, God, just let this be over already. Just let me die already. You know, if this is all you got left for me, you know, why'd you dangle that carrot in my face and then take it away? Why'd you answer all my dreams that I ever hoped for and then take it from me, right? And, you know, just let me die. And, you know, and then I'd wake up and go, shit, I'm still here. And I'd put my boots on and get to work. And I was really, and kind of, there was a little bit of embarrassment, right? And shame because I was finally the pride of my family, right? And then I went back to like feeling down. The friends that doubted me were all proud of me. They used to brag about me, like, Ray did it. He found a way, he did it. And to go back down and lose everything even worse than when I started, it really hurt. It hurt, you know, that pride and that. And I was working and I was at the city again and there was a guy I'd never met before. He goes, man, I hear all this shit about you. I'm hearing all this stuff like, you made all this money in real estate, you did all this stuff, and then you lost it all. And then somehow you were able to come back to the city and work, and, you know, you lost your family and everything. And he goes, I see you, dude. You hold your head high, you work hard, and you never complain. You just do what you got to do. And it was really kind of emotional. And he goes, I haven't told nobody. He goes, but I lost my house. He goes, I'm getting a divorce. I'm losing everything. He goes, I think about killing myself, right? You know, that's how desperate it is. Like, I feel like everything's gonna end. And then I heard about you, and then I see you every day. And he goes, I've been wanting to talk to you and share that with you. And he goes, seeing you pick yourself up every day and fight through all that shit and still be an influence and be positive. You're the lowest man on the totem pole at the city now too, right? And you're still fighting through that. He goes, I told myself, if Ray can do it, I can do it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, man. And you know, I got pretty emotional. You know, we both did. We're like, all right, man, let's look away a minute. You know, but then that told me that, you know, like I said, that when you're going through your struggles, it's not just your struggle, because other people are going through it. And they're watching to see how you act. And sometimes just the fact that you going through that battle and pushing through is enough inspiration to give someone to fight another day, right? And I look at my kids and I tell them that, I want you, I go, life's gonna be hard, but don't give up, you know, keep fighting.
No, man, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's, you don't think no one's watching, but there's someone's always actually looking at you.
Yeah, especially if you're a parent.
Yeah.
They watch everything. They may hear, you know, may hear what you say, but they absolutely see what you do.
There's no better. It's like you can tell them what to do, man. They don't listen. They will repeat. They will copy exactly what you do, but not exactly what you say.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that quick with my kid, man. He's already 4, about to be 4, and he's just do this. Nope. But if I do it, he does exactly what I do, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do with you no more, man. Adoption, it is.
You know, when we first met in our mutual coaching class and stuff, and I seen you, and I seen what kind of man you were, I said, that's a good dude. And I seen the openness you were and the honesty and how hard you worked. And, you know, even though we didn't know each other personally yet, I was like, I want to see that guy win.
Thank you.
I want to see him win because you deserve to win. You work hard, you're a good man. And, you know, I always wanted to tell you that, even though I hadn't had a chance to. But,
Thank
you know,
you.
like,
Appreciate
I was
it.
cheering for you from day one.
Thank you.
Know?
And this is actually our
same.
first time we meet in person, like meet, you know. So I really appreciate that, dude. A lot of the support. I mean, I do have plenty of support, right? But a lot of the support that comes, it's usually not from family or the people that we look for, right? It's always like, not to say a stranger, but from people that, like today, we really meet the first time, and we already got someone wishing me, the best possible outcome for my life. Like, dude, like, that's a blessing.
And I see the progress, man. You're taking off. You're doing fantastic.
I mean, you already know, like you said, I'm always transparent. Right now, I'm going through a little rough patch, but that's not, rough patch financially. But if I was to be like, hey, you know what, the business is growing in other areas, then we're still fucking growing. You know, I'm not too focused on, okay, well, maybe the cash flow is down. It's okay. That's just because we're focusing on another area, you know. But now I'm actually focusing on building the team. Where I got 2 people, like, they call me. I got 2 people doing the door. It gives me a chance to come out here, do other stuff, and actually take care of business, and like you said, other things that I like to do, which is gonna be actually following up to the next part, which is Raymond being the actor and the producer. So how did you get into that? How long ago?
I think I'm right at 3 years.
3 years?
Right at 3 years, and it's a lot of fun. I had a few friends that, like I said, had been acting. Shout out JC and David Marietta, and one of the very first friends was my dad's good friend, who was an actor. His name was George Perry, and George Perry was Danny Trejo's best friend.
Danny Trejo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Machete.
Danny Trejo, Machete. So, kind of backing up to the very beginning, I've always loved film. I've always loved filmmaking. That was one of the special little treats growing up because we didn't have a lot of money. My dad would get paid. He'd take us to the $1.50 show, 2 movies for $1.50. And we just loved it. Our whole family loved films, and I've always loved it. I love filmmaking. And so meeting George, when I was a kid, he would come over and my dad, hey, this is George. He's in movies, son. And I was a little guy, and I was always a little shit, right? And I'm like, yeah, right. Movies. Go, no, really, Ray, I'm in movies. Ray. They used to call me Ray Ray. And I'm like, no way. So it was kind of our little gimmick. He would try to convince me, and I'd never believe him. And then one day I'm watching Blood In, Blood Out with my buddies. And I go, hey, I know that guy. And then all my friends are like, no way. And I go, no, serious, I know him.
Now nobody believes you, man.
But it was always a cool little thing that we had between each other growing up. But I wanted to do it, like I said, I was getting a little older. I thought I'm doing a lot of my bucket list stuff, traveling, trying to live a fruitful life, right? And even though, I realize there's more to life than just money, right? It's experiences and the memories and the things you make. So I want to, when it's my time to be called home, I want it to be fruitful, right? Yeah. Know that I had tasted as much as I could taste and seen as much as I could see. So one of those things was acting. And so I don't know if you know this, but I used to fight. I used to be a fighter. So did a lot. I'm one of those guys that does a lot of stuff at the same time. So I used to fight competitively, boxing, MMA, martial arts, and a lot of fighters. And I've been lucky to be in the Mecca, which the Bay Area is the Mecca of martial arts. It's multiple world champions in every discipline come out of the Bay Area. From Bruce Lee to Daniel Cormier to Cain Velasquez, you name it, boxers, A
lot of good talent comes out
Andre
of here,
Ward, all the guys.
Andre Ward out of Kings, yeah.
So, and I was lucky to be right in the mix in some good teams. So I was on the same boxing coaches with Robert Guerrero. We came up together boxing. And then I was at AKA, American Kickboxing Academy, with Javier Mendez doing MMA. And I was on their B squad. The B squad's the up-and-comers or the old-timers that haven't made it. So I was one of the old-timers that hadn't made it yet. So I was on the B squad. But it was still blessed to be there, right? To be the shittiest guy in that gym, you're still pretty good, right? Because it's so world-class talent. People come from all over the world. The Eagle, Khabib, the guy that beat Conor McGregor, all those guys are there. You name it, just about every UFC, Bellator world champion comes out of AKA. So that's kind of where I met JC, Jean-Claude Loyer, world champion kickboxer and actor and those guys. So when I asked for help, they were kind of the mentors to help me get into the acting.
Nice.
And like I said, I got lucky. I got cast 2 days after putting myself up on that site, and I was in Burbank on a casting call. But most people would go, oh man, I got to drive to Burbank from the Bay Area and I'm not getting paid. nah, I ain't gonna do that shit.
Yeah, they don't think far ahead enough, man.
Yeah, but I was like, I asked for this opportunity, you gave it to me. Yeah. It's not gonna be easy. I'm there. So I drove overnight, showed up on the set, and had a blast. Nice. Soaked in every minute of it. And even though I've been doing it a little bit now, and I've been lucky, you know, or blessed, I should say, to have some success with this, you know, I'm actually making pretty good living with it, and on top of all the other things I do. And I found my agent the same way. She actually used to represent Robin Williams and Whoopi Goldberg. I was auditioning, just kind of being a goof, and I realized the casting director was pretty prominent. If I did, I probably would have been a lot more nervous, but I was too stupid or too ignorant at the time to know who she was. And she goes, "Hey Ray, you got an agent?" And I've already done like 4 movies, a bunch of little small roles, you know, just messing around, applying, and just applying that good, hard, old school blue collar work ethic. You know, show up to the set, don't be a problem, be prepared with your lines, you know, do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And I go, "No, I've been thinking about it. But no, I don't have an agent." And she just left it dead air. It was an email, didn't respond back, nothing. And later that day, I get an email from an agent. And she says, "Hey, my good friend told me about you, and she showed me your audition." And she goes, "I would love to represent you if you let me." And coming from the streets, the first thing I thought was, this is a scam.
Of course, man. I don't believe anything.
They were gonna hustle on me, you know, like there's no way it happens like that. And so I start Googling their name to see if it's some type of thing, try to figure out what angle they're gonna hit me with. You know, probably like, "Oh, I'd love to represent you, but first you gotta give me money," or something like that. And it turned out she was a very legit agent, been in the business 40 years. Like I said, represented Robin Williams, and he was here, Whoopi Goldberg, and very prominent. And she, of course, I replied back immediately when I found that out and said, "Thank you very much for the opportunity. I would love for you to represent me and hopefully guide me." And it's been great ever since. She keeps me busy, you know, on top of the Bay Area acting pool is very small. It's not like Hollywood. There's not a lot of us, especially Latinos, things like that. So we all know each other. We're all once removed. We work on multiple projects together, and when you're acting out here, we all see each other. So even though like you may see something, and I realize that usually we're all been on every little set.
Yeah, it's walked around probably the same paths, same sets, all that stuff.
Oh, a lot of times we're on the same stuff, maybe, or doing different things. So it's pretty cool. So it's like getting to hang out with your friends now. You do it long enough, and we have a lot of fun. And you know, I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'll enjoy the 15 minutes while it lasts because it's great and it's a lot of fun.
What have been your favorite role so far?
I think one that I like playing the bad guys, right? And I thought I'd get typecast, like get the cholo thing and stuff like that, but I really didn't. It was usually like the cop, the firefighter, the dad, you know, things like that. I guess that's what people resonate with me, the casting directors. But you know, I like some of the darker stuff, you know, some of the grittier, more dramatic things. That's what I want to do. So I say the favorite role I've done so far was probably a movie called Fire on the Ridge, where I came in as the fire captain, and the director liked me, and she recast me. She recast me in there as a cop, and I got to have the big rescue. I had the final scene, so I got the big rescue with the one of the main characters, save him, and then I have the big dramatic scene at the end with him in the hospital room. Nice. And it was nice, you know, and you know, I didn't know anything, but it was great, you know, and I was really appreciative that she gave me that opportunity and seeing that, and that was a lot of fun. So I have an upcoming role where this will probably be my most prominent on film, most lines. I come in and I'm page 30 in the script, and I'm pretty much in every scene to the end, where I play a detective, and I'm after a serial killer. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff, you know, a little grittier, a little darker. So I'm looking forward to that one.
Nice.
And so hopefully we start shooting that end of August, and see how it runs. But you know, with these films, there's so many things moving around that, you know, it gets pushed back. And one thing I learned with filmmaking is like you'll film it now and no one's gonna see it for a year. Right?
It becomes evergreen content almost, right? It's
like people will see the behind the scenes, or I'll share what I could share depending on the confidentiality. Because some of the bigger projects, it's really big on the confidentiality. Some
and
of the
when you
smaller
wait
stuff,
till the end, or till it actually is ready to come out, or
till they
ready.
give you permission to share a little bit of the content. The smaller stuff, that's more grassroots. They're like, yeah, please promote it. And so I understand that concept. So a lot of directors and movie people like to work with me as an actor because I understand that if I don't do my job as an actor, besides being prepared to do a good performance, but promote it online, it only hurts the film, right? So I'm big on promoting it. And sometimes I'll tell people, I'm promoting the film not to say, hey, look at me. I'm saying, hey, look at the work we did so everyone could see all of our hard work. I'm not trying, I don't care about being a celebrity. I don't care about being wealthy. I've made a good living. I'm happy. I just enjoy filmmaking.
You're doing it for the fun part of it.
Yeah,
right?
I enjoy the filmmaking. Growing up, like I said, poor, I'd watch these movies and it would take you to another place. It would inspire you, the feelings it elicits, the magic.
Right
That's
now,
what I love, the magic of filmmaking.
Right now you're mentioning that, it's kind of funny because I was having a conversation with one of the one of the guys that I interviewed down in LA, Diego. I think it was with Diego, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, dude, right now, if I was to tell you I'm living my dream, that's literally what's happening. It's like, because I used to watch the novelas, all this people sitting at a table, all this multi-million-dollar deals going on, all this millionaires thing on the table, having these conferences.
Yeah.
I watched the novelas, dude, and I was like, man, I want to fucking sit at a table one day like that. And,
someday I'll know someone with a Ferrari.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then it's like, damn, now I'm actually living the dream because I saw it on TV. I saw it. That's what I wanted to become something where it's inspiring for people,
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool. You got to do your work way better than most to be able to trigger that in somebody,
Yeah, and like you said, you put in the work, and I tell people, I go, yeah, it's a dark time right now, and we all go through it. But to get past it, there's two choices. You could sit there and do a bunch of self-destructive things, fight with your family, be a jerk, or you could put positive action. And it's not going to change overnight, right? Because it's steps, So, you may have a big end goal, but you got to keep putting positive action every day, and you got to target what you want. So some days you may only have enough strength to get up and clean your house, right? Because you're having a rough day. Other days, you may feel on fire and you can, you're calling clients.
3 days in one.
Yeah, you just keep pushing and keep doing positive things and, keep that positivity around you. And it's contagious. It feeds on itself. And then you'll see people that they're constantly like drains, right? They're users. They constantly have problems and they're just a drain.
Yeah.
And just a negative cloud around them. You can love and care about them because some of them are your family or your closest members. But you can't let that filter into your life, right?
As that transfer over into you.
Yeah.
Right? And it is rough being around people like that. Like for you in the industry of the movie industry, do you ever get those kind of people that just come with like low energy, not ready, not prepared, basically not ready to be that team player that you would expect, I would assume, right?
Yeah, I've seen some. I've seen some people with really big egos and, kind of yelled at me and talked to me disrespectfully and things like that. And I'm like, I go, someday that ego is going to make you fall flat on your face. I was thinking in my mind, I go, because you're only one bad film away from, losing everything, because I know how it feels, on top of the world. But, when you're a leader and successful and your character, right, your character isn't what you do in front of everybody. Your character is how you act when no one's watching, right? And, how do you treat the least person in your organization, right? Because you realize at the end of the day, we're all people and they're just titles. So if you can't respect the least person in your organization, the person that maybe everyone overlooks, the guy that's doing the security guard work, or maybe the ticket taker in the garage, your janitor, if you can't realize that person is just as valuable and has just as much meaning and you treat them with just as much respect that you would treat the CEO or some multi-million-dollar client, you're really not a good person, right? And people, you got to realize, at the end of the day, you got to do what's right and treat people right. And, you see those kind of weird characters. And like movies is artsy, right? The artists. So coming from the blue collar background, sometimes I don't necessarily fit in all the conversations, or like maybe my opinions are a little different than some other people's. So I just kind of keep an open mind, and usually try to do work hard. It's funny because usually like on the bigger productions you have like it looks like full-on cities, and they'll have a lot of grips and production staff, and a lot of times I'll gravitate to those people instead of hanging around with the talent. And, because a lot of people are trying to get the director and all these people's attention.
Correct.
But those are the people I resonate with me. So sometimes I'll hang out with them every now and then. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And when we're at the food truck. And then a few times I'll say, hey, talent to the set, or Ray, to makeup. I go, hey, man, I'll see you guys later. I gotta go. And they're like, what? You're talent? You go, the whole time I thought you were one of us. I'm like, no.
Like, nah, dude, I'm over there. I'm just coming to what I know.
Yeah, I want to hang out,
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. And like I said, there's some difficult times. And the thing with acting is just like real estate, just like any sales job, because you got to sell yourself, right? Is a disappointment. Right?
He said it's a disappointment.
Disappointment, right? You want the role, you're auditioning
shit.
like crazy. You doubt yourself. You're like, man, I really suck. I'm not getting any roles. Some people you see, and your buddies, they're doing really well, and then you feel like you're not getting any of the roles anymore, and you're like, you're not popping. You're like, man,
am I even doing the right thing now?
Yeah, and then my agent, she's like old school. She's pretty tough. She's like my boxing coaches and all that. She's like, Ray, kind of sucked on that one, man. What are you doing?
Hey, we all need those kind of people in our life. Honesty.
Yeah.
And just straight good criticism, man. It hurts, but it's what's gonna help you build.
Yeah, if you surround yourself by yes people, you never get an honest answer, right?
You really don't.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get to build the way that you should when you're around people that criticize you the right way. Because I mean,
the constructive criticism.
Yeah, the constructive criticism. Because anybody could literally just talk smack, and that's what it is smack talking, right? It's not something that will construct you or help you build something better than what it currently is.
Yeah, I noticed this in life, and I kind of figured out pretty young that, people will put their own self-doubts on you, especially if you're a big dreamer. You got to have that big vision, that big dream. That's what leaders and visionaries are. You're crazy until it happens, and everyone says, I knew that guy back then, right? I always knew he would make it, and I'm like, no, he didn't, But, because your vision is your vision, whoever placed that vision in you, whatever gave you that vision, that was yours. That's your gift, right? You got to protect it. You got to nurture it. You got to grow it. And sometimes the people will come, they'll help you carry your vision along. But usually in the beginning, there's not a lot of people who could see it, right? So that's why you got to have to kind of protect it like a little egg and grow it and foster it and nurture it, because everyone else is going to try and crush it. And going back to what I was saying, it was like people will put their own self-limitations on you. It's because they have self-doubt. They'll say, hey, I don't think I can, therefore he can't, right? I don't think I could do that, so there's no way he could do that. And they'll tell you that because it kind of, if you start surpassing them in whatever field you're doing, then they have to face that hard reality is, what am I doing wrong?
Damn.
Right? What am I doing?
I like that.
What am I doing to hold myself back? And that's an uncomfortable conversation if you're not used to having it, right?
Yeah.
You have to admit that, maybe I'm my own worst enemy,
And we really are, man, because, who else is going to stop you from doing what you need to do other than yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, it's our ultimate decisions that kind of play out how, not just how our lives, but just like how our reality, our whole entire life kind of plays out, right? As it becomes to whatever decision it is that we make. But I think more than anything, it's people being able to make the decision, kind of like you said, you know what, I'm going to try acting.
And put the work behind it.
Yeah, and actually put in the work.
Yeah.
You actually started doing something and went ahead and tried it and put in the work and actually went and gave it a shot. You didn't just say, I wonder how it would be. Like, you didn't just say, you went and actually did it. Not a lot of people have those type of, or that type of grit or thick skin to even
Yeah.
But then again, man, you've been a realtor for so long. Like I said, build that thick skin of, if it fucking works, it works. If it doesn't,
yeah, the same thing with the fighting. Like every day when I started, I went home bloody and beat up, right? And then every day I just kept coming back, and eventually I bled a little less. Right?
Yeah, little by little. Learn the head movement, right?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, because we're getting towards the end of it. I always like to ask this question. You know what a guerrero is, right? Mm-hmm. That wasn't the question, though. But what does it mean for you, for Ray? What does it mean to be a guerrero?
I think being a fighter like that isn't just physical, right? Part of it's physical. You know, you want to be strong and healthy so you can actually carry out what you want to do. But being a fighter, it means being strong in spirit, being strong in your convictions, and being strong in your beliefs, right? You're going to have to, like I said, that vision, whatever it is, that life, wherever we're called to be, you know, a father, a husband, entrepreneur, or like I said, even a person who just works from 9 to 5, right? You could be a leader anywhere in life. It's that inner strength, how you carry yourself, right? You're going to face difficulties, but those difficulties and going through those struggles will show you what kind of person you are, right? That character. Are you going to compromise your morals, your character, who you are? Are you going to fold on your loyalties? You know, are you going to take it out on your family? Things like that, right? And you find out, like, when you become a person that can maintain your character and fight your way through any adversity, no matter how strong it is. Don't mean you're always going to have the outcome you want, but you got to fight, right? You're going to get up every day, you're going to fight with everything you got. And when you find out that you inspire everyone around you to be that kind of fighter, because they go, if he can do it, I can do it, because he was just a man, right? You know, he's not a superhero, he's just a man. But every day he fought. And like I said, with every adversity, that scar tissue is tougher than regular tissue, right? One day you become a big old hunk of scar tissue, and ain't nothing gonna break you. And when you have that in your mind, like, yeah, you may knock me down, but I'm still breathing, and I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna get up, and I'm gonna get up until I win. And especially when you have family, because I go, they need me to. Because if I give up, who's gonna get it done for them? And you look at their little faces when they're babies, and you're like, I'll do whatever it takes to give you a good life. And then you think about that, and then when you're having those hardships, because it'll push you through. I know one thing, when I used to have really bad days, and you probably experienced this too, and I'm like, man, fucking just get my ass kicked everywhere. And I would come home, and the kids would go, Dad, you're home. That was the best feeling in the world. Yeah. You know, and I still think about that to this day. Like, I couldn't wait to get home to see that, you know, to feel that feeling, to hold them, right? Yeah. And then that was the motivation to push myself through a lot of hard times. And I kind of carried that through. And, you know, I wanted to be that person that people could count on, people could respect, and my kids could say, yeah, that's my dad. You know, my friends could say, that's my friend, that's my brother, and be proud of the person I am, regardless of wealth, regardless of who I am.
That's the person right there, man. Yeah, that's a guerrero.
Exactly.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Yeah. If and then just this one, if there's any advice that you can give to somebody out there who may be struggling right now, I mean, even with just the explanation that you just gave right now, you know, you got to look for something, that big why, to help you push forward. But if there's something that, a quick tip that you can give to our audiences out there that may be struggling, or that are basically facing some kind of hardship, what type of advice would you give them just to get them back on their feet?
I will tell you what, one piece of advice that I apply to myself and I would give to anyone is don't give up, right? Like I said, some days you only need enough strength to wake up, but don't give up and keep trying to do positive action. But don't give up before the miracle happens, right? Sometimes you're only 30 seconds, like in fighting, right? You would fight, and those 3 minutes, those 5 minutes seem like an eternity. Yeah. And you're getting your ass handed to you, right? But you're only 30 seconds away from winning, right? Don't give up for 30 seconds before your victory, right? Maybe all you needed was 30 seconds more. Hang in there. Keep fighting. Don't give up. You know, don't let a bad day make you think you have a bad life. You know, you fight through, and it will pass. You know, with enough time, it will pass.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you.
And again, thank you for coming on and being another guest in Guerrero's podcast.
Oh, great.
Where can our audiences find you, Ray? What's your handles?
Well, I think I'm most known for Ray on the Gram on Instagram. You can Google my name, Raymond Reese. You can find me there. As a realtor and an actor, I'd love to help whoever needs help with or advice, and thank you again.
I appreciate it. Well, here you guys have it. Anything you need, any questions from real estate, acting, or anything, any other questions that you may have for Ray, drop them down in the comments. Follow my guy, and you already know this is Guerrero's podcast, and Guerreros, let's go. Beautiful, man, beautiful.